This has been a strange lunch dash. It's like I went through a rabbit hole.
The Silver Dasher.
Morning. It is Tuesday. I'm in the car, and it's freaking cold outside. I'm in my heavy jacket. So, did not do dash yesterday. Had too much to do, and so plus I was a little exhausted. So I took some rest. Got a lot done that I need to get done, and so let's go ahead and get this morning dash on the way. So let's start the app. Pick the time I want to end. Oh. Update terms and conditions. Blah, blah, okay. All right. Yes, I have the bag. Looks like things are changed. So, all right. We got it started. So let's get the show on the road. Let's see if we can pick up anything. Are we lucky enough to get something on the way? Is it backing out? Don't think so. All right. Yeah. Last time we did something, I did the Spark on Sunday. That was a continuation of the cancellation of the pickups. Walmart Spark has found new ways to cancel it. My very first one, they canceled it because they said it was an old offer from yesterday. So I was forced to cancel that pickup. And then the second one was some employee decided to cancel it. The third one, according to Spark Driver Support, the system canceled it. Does that mean the same thing as a store closing? And the fourth one, the store closed. So I was doing all kinds of trying to get incentives done, like extra $30 for 5 trips. So for the whole day, I just did shopping, and I got at least 5 trips in. So anyway, on to base. Let's see if we can get anything. See you in a little bit. I just got an offer at Starbucks. A little over $6 for just a little over 2 miles. So that's what we're doing. So yeah, that's about a minute after I signed off. I picked that up. So not too bad. So here we go. On to Starbucks and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, that was a little bit unusual in that the Starbucks order went to the local county jail. Now, that in itself is not unusual because this will be my 3rd time coming out here. What's unusual was I had a sheriff's deputy come out and meet me who was not the customer. and he was explaining they usually don't let people in. I said, wait a minute, I was trying to explain to him, this is like my 3rd trip here. I usually go into the lobby and hand the food. So he had to call the customer to get and it required a PIN number. I said, I asked him, well, I need a PIN number. What, it's for a debit card? I said, no. I showed him the app. It says the customer has a PIN number and I got to verify. So he had to call her because she was inside the building, and he got the PIN number and worked on it. I handed him the coffee. Of course, some fellow deputies come and start ragging on him, being an errand boy. But yeah, that was that was unusual. Like I said, I always, I know this sounds strange, but I enjoy going to the jail. No, that's not what I meant. My dad was a deputy. He was a head jailer in the county where Mom and Dad lived. He was a sergeant. I think that's what the rank was. So he was a sergeant major in the Army, but he was deputy sergeant with the county sheriff's over there, and so yeah. And I remember when I was still in school, college, when he did that, and he gave me a tour of the jail. That was unique, you know. Where the guard, they have block houses, but they have a central guard tower inside, you know, where you can see all the prisoners. But so yeah, that was interesting. Dad had always given me tours. Yeah, even with the military, you know, slightly bring to work just briefly. But yeah, good times. That's the way, you know, I remember those, you know, because that's the way you connected to your dad, you know, fond memories. So anyway, heading back, and I'm actually in downtown of the city. So basically, I'm in the middle of the gauntlet. So I'm going to head up this way, and I think I'm going to make Jack's my base of operations today. But boy, it's cold. According to the car, it's 27. Yeah, that's a little cold, even, you know, for the south too. Icy conditions. So yeah, this is the like I mentioned before, you know, it's going to be first few days of this week going to be bitterly cold, and then towards the end it's going to get bitterly warm. So go figure. So anyway, heading to Jack's for base operations, and hopefully I get an order soon. So see you in a little bit. Well, I've been sitting at Jack's for about 10 minutes when I finally picked up a Chick-fil-A order. Not too bad. I think it's like a little over $8 for 3 miles. So hopefully that's a good sign. Strange though, it says it was not a high paying offer. All right, on the Chick-fil-A we go. See you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered a Chick-fil-A order to a repeat customer. In fact, if y'all remember the videos, the first time I went there, there was a gray kitty cat that looked like one of our cats, and then just at the last second, his twin brother showed up. That was the first time I was there. And then the second time I showed up, the lady actually came out to meet me because it was a liquor delivery. And I asked her about that. So yeah, they're twins and they belong to the people next door to her. But on that visit, the liquor people gave me the wrong size bottle. And I apologized to her. And so she said, that's okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get my money back on that. So yeah, that really determined that the next time I do a liquor delivery, I'm gonna make double sure I know what I'm taking and make sure it's the same, because every time I've gone there to the liquor store, they somehow don't know about it, but I show them what the app says that they're supposed to get, so they go bottle up. So I just assume they can read it and got the right thing. So anyway, just as I finished delivering that, I've got a stacked order. Going to Bojangles, which is that way, and then I go back to Jack's, which is that way. So I'm running the gauntlet twice. So anyway, on the Bojangles, then Jack's, and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered a stacked order. It was to the same customer, but it's a repeat customer through 2 different apps. I remember this house on a Walmart Spark delivery, and I may have done this also as a DoorDash too. But I remember the house. I remember the weirdly shaped hedges that I remember those. So anyhow. Just as I completed that delivery, I got a quote-unquote high-paying offer, which I took because I saw the bill. But it's to the liquor store. But it's $8 for 7 miles. How's that a high-paying offer? But I took it. But I'm going to be damn sure that what the customer wants is what they get. I'm not going to make that mistake again like I did last time. So it's kind of strange because the first 2 times I did this with this liquor store, they already had the item already backed up, because I know they got the DoorDash. DoorDash has every restaurant or store or whatever that deals with DoorDash has their own, like, it looks like an iPad on the side. And I've seen a couple times when it says, DoorDash driver has arrived, or DoorDash driver is nearby. It tells you, that type of thing. And also tells you, of course, the order and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, but the liquor store was just right down the street from the delivery spot. So onto the liquor store and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered the liquor order to a repeat customer. This is the customer that my very first 2 liquor orders went to. This same guy. He works from home. He works in cybersecurity for the government. Very nice guy. Went out there and noticed he's got a basketball goal. The ones that are you put on the side of your driveway or something like that, but it was actually facing the street. But there was a pair of shoes. I said, well, it looked like somebody left their shoes. I said, yeah, we turned into the neighborhood and goal area, so all the kids come to this area and play basketball. But yeah, it was nice seeing him. He works from home, like I said. I told him, I'm going to be honest with him. I said, I'm a retired software engineer, and I'm going to be honest, I don't miss it. Being on call 24 hours, especially the systems that these guys got this prefab house blocking the road, and they're building those houses on stilts. It's right by the river, but everything else is not on stilts. That's something new they're doing. Anyway, yeah, I don't miss it. Do I miss the pay? Oh yeah. Definitely missed the pay. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't miss the stress of being on call or the problems, in the middle of the night. Especially in banking, when you only have a 2-hour window to figure out what the problem is, and there's a lot of pressure, and you get you get your bosses involved and there's pressure, and then you get your the what they call the application owner or the business owner, and he gets involved. And the last time that happened, I was trying to figure it out and all that. People try and call me, and I said, look, quit calling me. I will try to figure this out, and I'll let you know what's going on. But I can't waste my time. I only got 2 hours to figure this out, and I don't want to waste it talking to you. No, I didn't say it that way. I was cordial and all that. I was nice about it, but damn it, don't, wait till you'll know something when I know something. So, anyhow, I wonder if anybody else been in that situation before? Been on call 24 hours, and scenario comes up, and you're being asked to work, trying to figure it out, but you get inundated by your boss, his boss, owner of the product, whatever, guys. I said, well, I can either talk to you about it or trying to figure out what it is. Your choice. You pick. So, like I said, I'm not trying to be crude, but you can't. I can't work that well under pressure by constantly having to deal with, well, what's going on? I don't know. I just got found it. I just got to notice it, and there was a problem. I don't know. One time, they called me. At one time, my process starts around 9 o'clock. Well, they didn't call me until almost 11 o'clock because the next step, the process after mine, was delayed. And they just said, well, that's because this one didn't. Well, why are you waiting the 2 hours after my process was supposed to run to let me know it didn't run? Now I only got, instead of 2 hours, I got less than 30 minutes to try and figure it out because everybody down the road, because we had to have everything done, processing done by midnight, local time. Reason being because clock turns over to the next day. That causes major problems in processing. So anyway, but as soon as I delivered that liquor, picked up a Dollar General order. So here locally, I'm in Lincoln, so I've been to this Dollar General a couple times. So anyhow, but it's still cold. It's 32 icy conditions and not a cloud in the sky. That means all the heat is escaping. There's no clouds to help blanket, keep the heat in. So anyway, I'm approaching Dollar General. So let's get the shopping done and then head on to the customer. See you in a little bit. This whole morning has been nothing but repeat customers. I just delivered that Dollar General, and it was a repeat customer. Because I recognized the name, and then when I walked up the steps, I recognized. The reason I recognized because the steps, there's a lot of houses. The steps are separating from the house because of the settle of the house. And so yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh, what we got here? Take screenshot. Another Dollar General. Yeah, it's $8 for 8 miles, but I'm going to take it because this is probably going to be my last dash. Out here, I got 30 minutes left in the dash. So, yeah. But that last Dollar General order was strange. Normally, I have to scan the item and all that, but it just went down and scanned. It says there should be plenty of them, just take one. And I took one. No scanning. So I don't know how that works on my completion, because the shopping completion changed. I was at 92% when I was getting the bonus, because I had, I qualified for all the 6 things. And so I said, okay. But then it went back up to 96 completion rate finding the original items. And a lot of them, it's hard to do that with Dollar General, because Dollar General does not have their products in specific shelves. They'll put a tag there, but a lot of times they don't put a tag on there. For example, I had to pick up a Mountain Dew Zero sugar. Well, they didn't have it. They had the diet and the regular, but they didn't have a tag for it. So I had to take a picture, and I took a picture of all the drinks, and they did not accept that. I said, well, this is Dollar General. They don't have tags specifically for, if they have room, they put it out there, and then they put a little paper on there. But they don't have dedicated, unlike Walmart, where you have, specific section, the section, the aisle, the section, and the modular. There's 3 numbers when you do a Walmart Spark. You'll learn that real quick when you do that. Dollar General, it's whatever aisle it could be, and you have to check the whole aisle for an item. So it takes a little longer. Now, if you've been doing Dollar General shopping like I have, you get a pretty good idea where a lot of things are. But each Dollar General is different. Some have more extra frozen food areas, some don't. There's the Dollar General markets, which are more grocery store like. So all of it is different. So trying to maintain a 96% completion rate at a Dollar General is super damn hard. Because, a lot of times if an item's not found, well, the item's not found, but there is no empty shelf. They got everything grouped together, And I said, okay. So if I have that problem, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make an empty space. Because they don't have a tag. So anyhow, so I'm about 14 minutes away from the Dollar. It's not the one I thought it'd be, the local one, but it's making me go closer into town. It's one of the reasons why I took the offer, because I looked at it, it's making me go closer to home. So anyway, on to the next Dollar General, and then the customer. We'll see in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that Dollar General order. Shopping was somewhat easy, but the delivery, the app bugged out on me. The address, for example, the street name was 90 on the app, on the where it tells you the address of the person and then the directions. But the Google Maps, that information being transferred to Google Maps, kept trying to take me to 290 up the same street. So I was finally saying, wait a minute. And because I passed the thing that said 90, I said, wait a minute, isn't that supposed to be it? But it's telling me the 290. So I text the customer. She says, wait a minute, it's a 4,000, right? And sure enough, where I passed the 90 was the 4,000, right? So I just turned around, went back, and delivered. That's a strange. That was a strange one. The address was correct within Doordash, but when they send the information to Google's or the interface, they changed the 90 to 290. So, anyway, Well, that was my last dash of this morning. This was pretty busy, except for the early in the morning where I had about 5-10 minute wait. I think I went nonstop. I don't think I think after that I picked up an order within either right away or within a minute or two as I was traveling away from it. So I think I may have a pretty good breakfast dash. Haven't had one of those in a very long time. So anyway, going to head back to the house. I'll give a brief summary and take a break, have some lunch, and then we'll do a lunch dash. So see you in a little bit. Well, finally made it home, and I think I had a very good breakfast dash. So let's take a look what we got. Let's see here. So I made a total of $52.92 with 7 deliveries. Well, 6 trips, 7 deliveries. One was a double stacked order, and total dash time of 2 hours and 36 minutes. So anyway, that was pretty good. That's one of the better breakfasts I had in a long time. So anyway, going to take a break, have some lunch, and we'll do this again for lunch. So see you in a little bit. Welcome back. It is now time for the lunch dash. Let's go ahead and start the app. And let's see if we get anything here real soon. All right. Yeah, breakfast dash this morning was really good. And, I kind of tell because, I was getting orders quickly and they were somewhat decent, some were slightly underwater. But overall, that's where, volume can help a lot overcome a lot of the disadvantages trying to cherry pick. And the problem with cherry picking is that cherry picking works great if you're in a huge metropolitan area or the outskirts of a huge metropolitan area. My zone here is 100 square miles with only 2. The city I'm in is the largest city in that zone and population 13,000. To give you some idea of the concentration, all the major restaurants are in this city, in Pell City. As far as fast food, to give you some idea, in 100 square miles, in the whole zone, there's only 2 McDonald's. The one here and the one off the interstate, just in Lincoln. That's it. Of course, and some other towns have smaller type fast food. There's a Jackson, Odenville. Of course, there's Jackson, Lincoln. There's nothing in Riverside. There is no fast food. There's one restaurant, local restaurant that will do DoorDash. But as far as major chains and stuff like that, they're all here in Pell City. And as a result, with 100 square miles, somebody, who lives 20 miles out, wants a Zaxby order, guess what? I'm driving 20 miles. If I take that order, and it's going to have to be, a pretty good order. But that's the type of situation I'm in. Now, I've seen other YouTube, DoorDash or other gig app people. They're in major cities, or they're in the outlying areas of major cities, or some, in fact, they got major cities all in. So it's one huge metropolitan, and they have a huge concentration of people, and restaurants. Of course, they're going to have high concentrations of drivers, but the more people you have in restaurants, the opportunities are better. So that's why those people can afford to cherry pick and try to get the best they can. Here, that's extremely difficult to do, to make any kind of money. To give you some example. All right, let's say in a standard 4-hour shift, for example, in my dash, if I cherry pick everything and finally get an order that is, in some cases, the dollar amount is double the mileage, I may get that once every 4 hours. And so what if that order is like $10 for 5 miles? Well, no, that's $10 for 5 miles. It's pretty good. But if that's the only order I picked in 10 hours, in 4 hours, doesn't bode very well, does it? Now, so that's where the volume take comes in. Now, I try to not accept some really bad offers, like if the mileage is double the dollar amount. But if it's within $1, or $1.50 or something like that, either way, and if it's decent, I'll take it. But like I said, people who, well, I wouldn't have taken that order. What's that? Well, that's true. Just like right now. Take screenshot. Chick-fil-A, $2 for 2.6. I'm not taking that. That's a base pay offer. Even though usually Chick-fil-A offers are really good for the most part, I'm declining that. I'm no longer taking $2 offers. Now my acceptance rate is down to 86. So, yeah, that's prime example right there of the offers, it pop up occasionally. Look, and how long have I been online? At least 5 minutes. Take screenshot. Another Chick-fil-A. That one I took. $4.50 for 2.7 miles. So that's where I'm going. So, heading to Chick-fil-A and then the customer. See you in a little bit. So I finally got warm enough to move outside.
Yes, sir.
They started saying that we're all, so they got.
Well, I just delivered a Chick-fil-A. Wasn't too far, and just as I finished delivering, I'm going back to the liquor store. It says it was a high-paying job, but it sure didn't look like it. So anyway, on to the liquor store and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, that delivery threw me for a loop. App says, okay, it's right here. I was in the middle of a bridge and said, you won't pass it. So I turned around in a turnaround area here. Hope I didn't ruin my tires. But I've seen several trucks parked there. But customer was waiting for me outside. I apologize for the delay, but I had to load up Apple Maps, and sure enough, it pointed to the same thing. Then that's when I saw the mailboxes. And as soon as I pulled down, it's a little house right on the river. And they got a boat ramp and everything. Very nice. So instead of going back the way I came, I'm just getting back on the interstate and head back. Makes it easier to get to my base of operation, which is Cracker Barrel. So yeah, that was a quick pop-up of an order after that initial Chick-fil-A. That was went to a truck rental place. Was the first order. So anyway, let's head back to base. In fact, I never made it to base in the first place. So let's head back to base, and maybe I get an order before I get there. So see you in a little bit. Well, I got to base, wait about a couple of minutes, and then I got a PetSmart pickup. It doesn't look like a shop and deliver, but it's slightly underwater, but it's over $17 for 18 miles. That's $17. I've done this type of thing before as $17. That goes a long way. That's 3 orders. So things are weird today. Like I said, people are going to say, "No, don't do. Why'd you take that? You're losing money." Well, in this market, when you hardly get offers, as a general rule, it's hard. It's very honest. It's very hard to cherry pick. And if you decline too much, I don't care what other people says. DoorDash looks at your acceptance rating. I didn't know that I got to have at least a 70 acceptance rate to keep my platinum. Platinum is good because I can dash it anytime I want. I don't have to do the schedule. And there's a lot of things going on. So anyway, on the PetSmart and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, that PetSmart order just became a stacked order. Just picked up a Jersey Mike's orders, but according to this, I gotta go to PetSmart first, and then get the food. So it's gonna be interesting. All right, PetSmart and then Jersey Mike's, then the customers. See you in a little bit. Well, I just finished dropping off the PetSmart order before I dropped off the Jersey Mike's. And it had to be, the Jersey Mike happened to be convenient for me because it was across the street from where I live. And, or I take it back, where I used to live. I still have the house. The house is empty. We still got stuff in there and we're trying to get worked on so we can sell it. But I had to make a pit stop at my old house. It was very convenient. Plus, I had to check up on since it's been freezing every night for the next few days. I had to make sure the water was still running. I got the kitchen faucet to trickle, and so just as I finished dropping off the PetSmart, which was unique, the customer asked me to put it in the mailbox, and the mailbox didn't have a number. I was kind of curious, but I opened it up and I saw there was mail in there. So I looked at the address. Sure enough, it matches what my app says. And all of a sudden, when you open the mailbox, the house number was written on the mailbox. So I was convinced I put it in the right spot. But that's following the customer instructions, leaving the mailbox. So yeah, so I'm out here in the country. I'm way out here in the country, but not quite Deliverance. They're all mobile homes out here, but they're double wides, but they're nicely put together, with a lot of them are sitting on what looks like concrete, not concrete, but brick foundations. Or that could be a facade too, to make it look like brick. But they all look very nice. But I drove through a really nice neighborhood. The type of neighborhood that has the nice, special street signs, and all the houses they look like to be $340,000 $340,000. In fact, now I'm moving into that neighborhood now. Very nice, very quiet. I wonder if they have a homeowner association. I'm sure they do, because who does the upkeep on the street signs and stuff like that? So anyway, just as I finished dropping off that order, I picked up another order. It's kind of weird. I'm going to Roman's Pizza in someplace, but it's in Ellenville, it's in Odenville, and it's in my zone. So I picked up, I started with the PetSmart, and I was kind of, $17 for 18 miles, but on the way I picked up a stacked order. So I delivered a Jersey Mike's on the way, so that added a little bit more. Now that I'm out here, I'm picking up an order out here. So So the trip out here been worth it. So that the order I just picked up is $7 for 7 miles. So that's not too bad. So I'm going to go do that real quick, and then I'm going to make my way back to base through the zone, my DoorDash zone. But I'm in the. If you seen my other videos, I'm in the extreme northwest of the zone. I mean, I'm the furthest away. In fact, I'm slightly out of zone right now, slightly coming in. And so, to give you some idea how big the zone is, I'm in the extreme northwest. 50 miles in the other direction is the other end of the zone. That's how big the zone is. So, anyhow, well, I'm going to make it to the, I think it's a gas stop. You know, the gas stations that have a, you know, either pizza places like Hunt Brothers or something like that, but I think this is Roma Pizza. You know, same thing. So, anyway, on to the restaurant and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just delivered that, whatever that Norma Roma's, whatever, it's a small, what it is small little personal pizzas. You know, they're about that big. And she got some drinks and some M&Ms. It was a nice elderly lady. Probably just a little bit more older than I am. Unique area where she lives. And the road, first she goes there, you think it's like a, you know, country, you know, just farms and mobile homes. And then I come in here, very nice neighborhood. These houses are, you know, very nice, very, you know. And then I go down, then I continue going down the mountain. And then the road gets really rough. So, okay, what's going on here? But I get to her house. She has a very nice house, but it just happens to be on a very steep hill. But I think she's the only one down in the holler, so to speak. You know, that's what it reminds me of. So I am still slightly back out of zone. But I'm now in the area where I'm actually going to go drive through Odenville and hit back to Pell City on the 174. In fact, I got a guy here with a big load. I need to make him go by. Oh, he was stopping. So okay. So yeah, just a rough country road, asphalt road. There's a farm over there, and you got mobile homes on this side. But you think you know, this is an area of Margaret, Odenville that I've never been to. Now, I've been on the major road that goes through this area many times. I've been there for 20 years. But you know, when you're just traveling the roads to go from one place to the other, you don't know all the little nooks and crannies of neighborhoods out here. Like I said, I just found this neighborhood up here, and it's very nice. There's only like about 8 houses, but still, that one little stretch of road is very nice. So, yeah, so I'm gonna head back. I got an hour and a half left on my dash. Yeah, the risk of coming out here with that $17 order for 18 miles. Well, since I've been out here, I've been doing pickups and deliveries out here. I've done 2. You know, did the X one, and then I picked up the Norman Roma from the local Mapco gas station. So yeah. So that's why I decided I'm going to just go hit the zone of Odenville. I mean, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing out here, but they're building. I'm just now seeing they're building some big subdivisions out here. I see, you know, the signs, you know, hey, this subdivision, there's another one, this subdivision, you know. So yeah. So anyway, I'm going to try to make my way back, see if I can get another order on the way. So, see you in a little bit. Well, that gamble worked. I just picked up a small little order to a place I never heard of. Well, it's out in Odenville. says a high paying offer, wings and tacos. $5 for 2.3 miles. So, looks like I'm going to be staying out in Odenville for a while. All right, on the wings and tacos, and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, that turned out to be quite a surprise. I picked up the wings and tacos, but the app tried to take me to the church behind it. So no, so got a little convoluted there and trying to get there. So I got there. I remember that place used to be a barbecue place a long time ago, and so I just delivered it not too far, and the gentleman gave me a $2 tip. That really made my day. I really appreciate that. In fact, I've kind of made full circle here in Odenville. I'm back at the Mapco where I picked up that that little personal pizza. So I'm still sitting around Odenville. I just over an hour left in my dash. So going to try to head back to my home base. But Odenville keeps dragging me back in. So anyway, let's see if I can make it back to base. See you in a little bit. Well, I had just parked at my base at Cracker Barrel, and I picked up a Chick-fil-A order. Not too bad, $5 for 3 miles. But yeah, now that I'm back at base, I'm picking up orders here. So on the Chick-fil-A, and then the customer. See you in a little bit. All right, see you later. Well, I just delivered that Chick-fil-A order. Took me a minute to figure it out. It's a small little side street right next to one of the major roads to the city. The picture, and then I finally saw the door. She had she has a ramp, and unfortunately she's handicapped. Well, her handicap, she has no legs. But I saw the door. In fact, she had the door open waiting for me. And there was a pet door, and sure enough, there was a kitty cat. I saw a kitty cat. But, yep. But like I said, you just have empathy for people and their circumstances. But she was very happy, very friendly. So, anyhow, but I finally found it. So I'm now near McDonald's. I'm kind of like in the middle of the downtown. I'm in downtown, kind of like in the middle of the gauntlet. I've got 30 minutes left in the dash, so I'm going to have a little mini dash run. head back to base. Yeah, this has been a strange lunch dash. It's like I went through a rabbit hole, The old saying, you just, you know how you watch YouTube videos and one next video goes to another video, slightly, or, and you wind up in one place and you wind up somewhere totally different than you normally started. And that's what. So I went through a Doordash rabbit hole today, which is fine. I was able to get some, constant orders. So anyhow, well, let's head back to base. Maybe we can pick up another order before the dash is over. Now, when my dash is over, I'm not going home right away. I got to go to Walmart to do a pickup of an errand, and then we'll head home. So in the meantime, we'll see you in a little bit. Well, just as I signed off, I picked up a McDonald's order. But the problem is I was already past McDonald's, so I'm making a loop around. Hopefully they won't get me in trouble. I'm actually going through the Ford dealership. I got everything blocked off here. I got a billion people. Everybody's looking at those Broncos. So, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I miss my Mustang, even though I hardly drove it. So, I see a Mustang in front of me, Specialized. Yeah, I had it for a while. It was fun while I had it. Me and my wife, we drove to South Carolina to visit my cousin in it. That was an interesting drive. I really had to drive the speed limit on that because red Mustang, man, that's a cop magnet. So, anyway, on to McDonald's and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that McDonald's order, and it was at the apartment complex with the steep stairs. But I got lucky. The customer came down and met me at the bottom of the stairs and gave me the PIN number. So, and just as I finished completing that order, I picked up one more order. This is going to be my last dash of the day. So we're going to my wife and I's favorite Asian restaurant, Oishi restaurant, and she loves the egg drop soup. They make a particular sushi roll. I think they call it the Green River. It's got shrimp, crab meat, and some other stuff in it, and it's good. It's good. Unfortunately, my wife can't eat that because she has a shellfish allergy. So anyway, so that means. So I get a lot of, when I get food, I get a lot of food with shrimp in it. So she does that, so I don't have to share with her. Yeah, she tells me I have only child syndrome. So anyhow, well, let's go to Oishi and then the customer, and then I'm going to go on and take my errand, do my errand, and then head on home. So see you in a little bit.
This one's very neat, and then you see the one that says it has a very sunny. My car's not.
Well, I dropped off that Oishi Asian restaurant. Oh God, it was killing me. And the smell of it was so good. Man, it was killing me, making me hungry. But I got curry at home that I made last night. I'm now going to make noodles to go with it. I had rice with it last night. It was really good. But I need to go to Walmart, do an errand, and then we'll head on home and get a summary of the day. So, on to my errand and then home, and then I'll give the summary. So, see you in a little bit. Well, I'm back home. I did the errand I needed to do. So, let's give a summary of today's dashing. Well, for this afternoon, wow, I made $66.49. That was for 9 deliveries. Now, I canceled one. So that $17 PetSmart order got me going through all these other orders. I was picking up in Owenville and stuff like that. So for combined for this morning and this lunch, I made close to $120. I think that's probably the most I've ever done it in a very long time, in a single day. So anyhow, so yeah, boy, it was cold this morning. It was, below 32. It was like 25. Then it gradually got warmer, and then it got up in the low 50s. It was like, as soon as I did that PetSmart for lunch, I was down the Doordash Rabbit Hole. I just kept picking up orders, going everywhere. So, yeah, which is good. I learned that the next time I go out that far, if I go somewhere, I was trying, let me just go through a shortcut and hit the interstate. Well, that means I'm missing my zone on the way back, because I picked up one order. Actually, I picked up 2 orders as I was trying to get myself back to base, and then ding, ding, ding. I just happened to be in the zone and in the area. I picked up 2 orders. So I'm thinking in the future, the next time I'm sent out that far on DoorDash, then I'll come back and stay within the zone and come up the 174. So, yeah, good start. Hope it continues. It's a week before Christmas, and we'll see how DoorDashing goes during that time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed coming with me today. If you liked the video, please select like, and if you enjoyed what I'm doing with this channel, I urge you to subscribe to the channel. And to see the continued adventures and misadventures of me, the Silver Dasher. So anyway, I'm going to go home. I'm already home. I'm going to go inside, get out of these work clothes, and start making me some leftovers for this evening. So in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.